So back in the day, my family used to own a trampoline, and my siblings and I absolutely loved it. We had been wanting one for a while, and so after persistently using our amazing skills of persuasion at the time, we managed to convince our parents to get us one. We went to the store to go pick one out, and our parents didn't go cheap. They didn't get us one of those kiddie trampolines that can't even hold 2 kids. They got us one of those full-size trampolines. And to a couple of little humans at the time, that thing was absolutely massive. Or at least we thought it was. You ever go to your old elementary school, and before you get there, you're like, "Aw man, I can't wait to see those monkey bars again. That cafeteria used to be so huge." But then you get there and you're like, "Wow, did this piece of metal shrink?" Okay. Now, I specifically remember this cafeteria being like 20 feet higher. Then you take a moment to realize this stuff isn't smaller and that you're just older and that you're not a kid anymore. Anyways, basically to us kids, this trampoline was the biggest, baddest thing ever. You could hop as hard as you could and be completely catapulted to the other side of it. Which in hindsight makes me question why my parents didn't get that net thing that's supposed to protect your child from certain death caused by their own lack of jumping coordination and understanding of physics. Honestly, I'm pretty sure we all fell off of it at one point or another. And to make things worse, my backyard doesn't have grass. It's all solid brick back there. Even the fence surrounding our house is concrete. So no matter where you fell, you're gonna eat that concrete so hard you'd be pooping up bricks. But minor concussions and flesh wounds be damned, because that wasn't gonna stop us from having fun. We spent so much time on that thing that it made us have to be extra creative when it came to the games we played. One of these games was called Alien Attack. Basically, we would get any and all balls we could find and put them on top of it. Once all the balls were on top and we were in position, we would all hop at the same time. The objective of the game was to not get hit by any ball. Why was it called Alien Attack, you may ask? Well, I don't really know how, but when we saw those balls, we were like, wow, those are totally alien heads. Fun fact, when we only had small balls on the trampoline, we called it Baby Alien Attack. Very creative, I know. And thus this weird version of self-induced dodgeball was created. If you were lucky enough, you didn't get hit in the face or trip over one of the smaller balls. Well, one day, my siblings and I were playing Alien Attack, and everything was going great. But then I guess we played a little too hard, because things went sideways real quick. No, like, literally. We had jumped so perfectly that all the balls were thrown off in every single direction. And a basketball, thanks to the perfect position of the sun and the stars, had decided to descend from the heavens and land perfectly in the center of my parents' glass table that was next to the barbecue pit. Chetos. We start panicking. We broke a whole table! This wasn't even a small crack or something like that. The entire thing was on the floor. We couldn't put that thing back together again like some Frankenstein's monster. The entire table part of the table was shattered. There was no table to fix. There was no way in hell we could put that thing back together again. It was dead. And you know what else was dead? Us! My mother wasn't one of those moms where you just get time out or no dessert after dinner after doing something bad. She wouldn't say, "Oh, it's okay, it wasn't your fault. You didn't mean to break it. Let's take this moment and learn a life lesson about responsibility." No! Our punishment wasn't going to be time out. We knew straight up that our butts were going to get beat. But this wasn't even la chancla status. This was straight up el cinto life sentence. Pause. My parents weren't mean or anything. I don't even think my parents disciplined us too much with it. They just had to do it maybe once or twice and we're forever scarred with the experience. Like we'd be disobedient and all they had to do was threaten to get it or make that god-awful snapping sound. And we'd stop immediately. I still hate that sound. We knew we couldn't fix it and that our future was decided. So we decided to do what any responsible elementary kid would do in that situation. We went inside, turned on TV, and pretended like nothing ever happened. If we were going to be punished, we may as well enjoy our time before it happened. Time passed, and I think Mother did eventually find out about it, and probably did punish us. She told us to clean up the glass, and we told her that we would. But we kind of forgot about it. You know, cartoons, hey? They take priority. So fast forward a week or two, and it's scorching hot outside. So we asked our mom if we could play with the hose in the backyard. She said yes, and she wanted to make a phone call, and any excuse to make us leave her alone was necessary. But there was one condition to being able to play with the water. We could not come back into the house until we were 100% bone dry. See, we had just renovated the main area of the house, so we weren't allowed to even touch it or else all hell would break loose. Like, you think I'm joking, but I'm not. We literally lived in the garage because my parents didn't want us messing up the new living room / kitchen / dining area. So when Mother gave us that ultimatum, we were like, yeah, sure, no problem, Mom, we got this. Don't worry. Yeah, we got it. And with that, we went outside, grabbed the hose, and started playing our next favorite game on the trampoline. Car wash. You know those red and yellow toy cars that feel like everybody has had at one point in their childhood but never actually remember buying? The ones where you kind of had to move them by feet power like the Flintstones? So we would get ours, and while two of us were playing with the hose on top of the trampoline, one of us would move the car underneath it and basically go through a little car wash. I told you guys, we are very creative little kids. Well, every time one of us would switch off, we would scream bloody murder for our mom, since we pretty much fed off of her attention. After some time of repeating this, she, like any other respectable mother, got fed up. Okay, mire, somebody better be dying the next time you call me out. Otherwise, I'm not coming out here again. Got it? So obviously, with that very important statement in mind, we called her out just a few minutes later. She was so done with us that when she left, she made sure that we knew that she was not coming back. But, whatever. We didn't need Mother to have a good time. We kept on playing, and before we knew it, we had started to create a little pool in our backyard. Remember how I said that we didn't have grass and that everything was concrete? Well, since there was nowhere for the water to go, it had pretty much started to flood the whole place. There was a good inch of water there on the floor, but we didn't care. In fact, the water made it even more fun to splash around in. My sister finishes her round, and it's finally my turn to go through the car wash again. So I'm excited, okay? I start pushing through, and I'm like, oh yeah, gonna get this car super clean. Oh, how'd you get your car so clean? Oh, you know, just went through the car wash. We had flooded the backyard so much they had picked up the forgotten glass and floated it over to where we were playing. I start crying and struggling to be freed from my toy contraption, and I can't walk because, there's only a shard of glass impaled in me. After all that screaming, my siblings finally stopped playing with the hose enough to kind of notice my little predicament. They went to the door and started yelling for Mother, but she stayed to her word because she did not come out. When that didn't work, they tried entering through the side door through the garage, but that didn't work either. So my siblings pretty much had two options. They could either A, go through the remodeled house and face chancing death, or B, let their beloved, kind-hearted, lovely sister of theirs bleed out to death. They continued playing with the hose. Honestly, I don't blame them. I would have done the same. I can't remember what happened afterward, but I could just imagine my mom finishing her phone call and being like, okay, I guess it's time to go check on the kids. Then coming out to find her entire backyard flooded with pieces of glass everywhere, one kid sitting on the floor crying, blood coming out of her foot, and the other two fighting over a hose on top of the trampoline. I'm sure she had a great reaction. So moral of the story is, don't cry wolf. Especially if you did something bad in the past, because karma's gonna come back and stab you in the foot. Man, this whole thing probably could have been avoided if my parents just got the net thing. Or if we just swept up the glass. We were in elementary, okay?